called his shot, which was my favorite, 2 Mondays nights ago, called his shot, which was my favorite part about it. He went on Twitter, said he was going to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase. The minute I started believing that was when they moved Randy Orton's title match against Lashley up. And after the Lashley Orton match, that's exactly what Big E did. He successfully cashed in. It was one of the most generic, good, and by generic, I mean just actually genuine is the word I'm looking for, pop from the crowd. It's so rare in any business to see somebody reach the top of their craft and unilaterally across the board, everybody is just so excited for him. And you rarely have people from other promotions, particularly, ever say anything nice about people from WWE on social media. I understand the game. I get it. But that wasn't the case here. Everybody was just so ecstatic. The moment, obviously, with Kofi and Xavier running in, the promo that he gave on Monday, followed up by a match that we're going to bring up again, but the outstanding triple threat main event match that they had on Monday Night Raw. I am so excited for Big E. And I want to say that they are setting up what I believe both of y'all said this. I'm sorry if I've given the wrong person credit. So I'm just going to give both of y'all that y'all both have been saying they're going to build up Big E to win at WrestleMania over Roman Reigns. I actually think they're setting that up for Survivor Series now with what's going on. Or if Brock Lesnar does end up taking the title from Reigns, we're going to either get Big E versus Reigns or Big E versus Lesnar at Survivor Series. Talk about bangers. It was a euphoric type deal for me just to see Big E, who so deserved this, get his moment. I still remember the NXT 5 count guy. It was a special title win. And Ronell, back-to-back African-American world champions. Holy shit.
That was actually one of the first things that I wanted to bring up when I started talking about this. First and foremost, you were absolutely right. The moment was a lot better than I was expecting it to be. Like I was extremely, extremely pumped. I mean, Cindy, who's sitting here listening to us record, she was just as jacked as I to see a Big E win. And you're right. The moment was actually pretty great. I know I stated in the group that I was a little bit disappointed at the fact that Big E cashed it on Lashley, but with that fact that you're talking about the linear
it's the first time ever, right?
WWE/F title goes from an African-American champion to an African-American champion. That just speaks volumes to where we're at right now. And Biggie is, we've been talking about it for a while, probably since the beginning of the podcast, how we felt he's just been deserving of a singles push. And, here we are. And we've got Big E Langston as the champion. And I'm absolutely stoked. I actually now want that belt.
There you go.
Just think about it. There are, in the last 5 years, 3 African-American men have held that title. Like,
even more impressively, right? They made Lashley look strong in his loss. Then again on Monday, even eating the pin. And that's something that I was really worried about because Lashley's had this amazing run. And, when he lost the title, I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. And he got booked in the main event. And I went, uh-oh, here we go. He's going to take the pin. And yes, he did. But he was a wrecking ball in that match. Sam, I mean,
I'm the guy who gets to piss on the parade.
You don't like it? Okay, go ahead.
We so rarely get an opportunity for a guy to actually have a moment. Biggie, especially with guys who've won the World Heavyweight Championship too. Like, it was very rare for a guy to get his first title win. And I thought that wasting it on, and wasting isn't the right word.
Yeah, I was about to say, come on, bro.
But it was one of the few like real moments that they had left. And instead of doing it at WrestleMania or a pay-per-view, you had it on a Monday night.
More people are going to see it on a Raw. That's a bigger deal.
In
it
September,
is. I mean, more people are going to see it, right? There's never a time
with people who have Peacock and and showing it on YouTube. I think that I go back to having him be the one to beat Reigns at WrestleMania, and it felt like this was done because
He
Vince
hasn't
wanted.
earned that yet, though. I mean, I agree that if he's going to beat Reigns, they've got to build him up big time, and he does need the championship in order to do that. I mean, Reigns has gone a year and 2 months without losing, and you
Yeah,
think Big E the
that's why
way
you
he's
brought him up to WrestleMania. It's but it was, and it felt like it was
what kind of
done.
history they have though with the briefcase. I mean, they don't have a history with guys with the briefcase building them up well.
No, but again, my point would be then to have Big E be the guy who comes out and like is the guy who says, "Hey, I'm going to cash it in like this," as a face. I just think that it felt like a panic move in the face of low Raw ratings and AEW's surging. And I just think that Big E, I think that there looks like they're actually going to go through and push him well, but I have very little faith in the WWE. And I'm hoping, I really love Big E's my favorite guy in the WWE right now. And I would love for them to see them do right by him. But I just am.
So you're going to shit on the Brian Omega match being rushed and having on Wednesday night, correct? And not at a pay-per-view or a bigger moment. I just want to make sure you're being fair.
Did Dragon win the title tonight? Did he win the title?
No, but they gave away the match. They gave away the match, right?
That's not what I'm upset
I'm just
about.
saying, if you got to be consistent.
No. You're comparing apples to oranges.
I'm not. That's a big moment. You said it's a big moment. You said Big E was one of the big moments they had left. You're telling me Omega versus Bryan for the first time is not one of the biggest things AEW can possibly put out?
In a non-title match, I think that it's, a guy the company has been around for 10 years. Big E has been in the WWE for 10 years, has never won a world title.
Right.
And I think that that having it on, and it's not, this is a big deal show for AEW. Like, it's not a random Dynamite. And I would that
Raw will draw more than what AEW Dynamite does tonight.
I mean, okay.
Well, I'm just saying you're trying. Okay. All right. Well, anything else on Big E?
Yeah. Well, on this topic, before we get lost on it, I'm just hoping that with the loss of MVP, because it looks like he had suffered a broken rib during that RKO. Yeah, he had suffered a broken rib on that RKO, which was absolutely hysterical when Riddle laid down next to him doing the shake. But I'm concerned
Not hysterical now that we know he broke his rib.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a feeling that Riddle wasn't aware of that.
You're right about that. But
I'm sorry.
But what I'm worried about is that I hope that they continue to book Lashley strong. I know he's going to have to wind up probably doing his own talking for at least a couple of weeks until MVP can come back. Or who knows? I just hope that, they do right by him as well. Whether they're moving him out of the title picture or, like you said, maybe he winds up taking it back so that Big E can challenge Roman down in the future. Who knows?
Or something else we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. He could get drafted to SmackDown and then